Hey you guys, welcome back to the Mountain Weekend Show here on Park City Television. I am here at Zipline Utah, joined by the owner of said Zipline. We have John Johnson. How are you today, sir?
I'm fabulous. Beautiful day to be out here ziplining.
Right, and as I was driving through Deer Creek Reservoir to find this spot, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. They stuck this massive zip line here. You have quite the story behind it as well. We'll chat about more of that in a moment, but I want you to share a little bit of your history, John, about how you got into building zip lines in the first place.
Well, it's kind of an interesting story. Probably goes back to when I was 13, 14 years old. We found an old cable in a dump somewhere, and me and my brother decided to build a zip line in the trees on our 10-acre property. We built that, and it, after a few attempts, was successful. And then we found another zip line or another cable, and we built a big 600-foot one with my dad later on. And then people from the surrounding towns and stuff knew that we had one, and we started building them in other people's backyards. And that kind of morphed into what we have today with Zipline Utah. We went commercial with this big project, got away from the backyard zip lines, but we are still doing those as well.
You've definitely advanced since the 10-acre thing you had going on as a 13-year-old. Tell me about the acreage, rather how long this zip line is. You have two different aspects here, right?
So we actually have probably 3 zip lines, ranging from a out and back $25 option to a medium 4 zip line, couple of aerial bridges course that's in the $50 range. And then our big Screaming Falcon course, which is opening up this weekend, is a 2-mile course, 10 zip lines, 7 aerial bridges, with the longest zip line in the world over water being nearly 4,000 feet. It's an amazing ride.
Now, John, it must be really interesting for you to see all of these ideas, these designs, the hard work and sweat come to fruition in what we're standing in right now. What is that like for you?
Well, I mean, it's to start with some small backyard zip lines to a 2-mile course with the largest zip line over water. It's a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of hard work, you know, come to fruition, and having all these lines come together, and to see the looks on people's faces after they've ridden some of these lines has just been fantastic. Great, feel great in that accomplishment.
Now, John, I'm looking over the edge here, and we're on like the lowest platform, but how high do we get along this zip tour?
So this is pretty unique because it's a continuous loop. Most zip lines, actually all zip lines that you'll ever see, usually follows the elevation of the land. They take you in a vehicle to the top of a mountainside, and you traverse back and forth across a ravine or from pole to pole. This one, because of the design that we set up, we actually start and end here on this very platform, which is really cool aspect. We don't have to drive anybody anywhere. As you traverse up the platform, you get up to 80 feet to your starting point. Your first zip line starts there and progresses up the hill via a bunch of poles and spiral staircases, and makes your way to the top through 4 different zip lines and 5 different bridges, and then you get to the main event, the Screaming Falcon, and you zip line on down across and make your way back around the lake and end right back here. So 80 feet is where you got to plan on getting to. So
very cool. I'm sure you'll hear a lot more screaming from folks as they go over some of these things, because for many it might be their first time, and as you mentioned, it's the largest zip tour over water in the world, at least that part of it. How does that feel to have like a record like that?
Well, it was kind of interesting. The Guinness Book of World Record contacted me the other day, and we're in the process of maybe working out the actual record. So the nearest one I've seen and have researched is somewhere down in the Bahamas, and it's their zip line. They're calling it the longest zip line in the world. It's 2,500 feet. So we've nearly doubled theirs. So
you're like, they're taking our record. What's up with that, right? You got to claim that. Cool. Let's talk about the quality and safety and really what makes the belay system here quite different than other zip lines.
That's actually a very unique point of our zip line course is we call it a continuous belay system. In the past, people had 2 hooks that you'd navigate through your course. You'd hook it onto the cable, get to a point that you'd have to traverse. You'd have to hook your other clip on it and then unclip your one hook. And as people go through the course, they get really comfortable and they're doing it really quick. And we find that a lot of times unclip them both before they clip into another point. So that leaves a lot of room for human error, you could say, and room for, accidents just waiting to happen. So we found this, what they call a continuous belay system, and we have a loop that hooks onto the cable, and once it's hooked on, it stays on the course the 100% of the time. So there's no possible way that you can come off the line and have any type of fall bigger than 2 or 3 feet, the length of your lanyard. So it's a really safe way to get people throughout our entire course, and it makes people feel really secure and safe that they're on the lines and there's no way of them falling off. Still doesn't help them take that first step, but yeah. It at least gives them confidence, and all our fall protection's rated at 5,000 pounds, so they can rest assured that they're secure on those lines, and everything on our course is double and triple backed up with different safety features. So it's one of the safest courses in the country because of our belay system. We're really excited about it.
Sure. Yeah, that is incredible. We mentioned we're at Deer Creek Reservoir. What are some of the other things that we can see along the tour?
Well, if you make your way up to the very top of the mountain, basically, you have complete view of Deer Creek Reservoir. And in the background behind you, you have the backside of Mount Timpanogos, just one of the best views in Utah. It's spectacular views. You do have to earn it. You have to make your way up to the top to see those views. I mean, we have the lake behind us right here, but the real views are earned getting to the top of the Screaming Falcon course. Nice. So it's worth the trek. We like to call ourselves more of a adventure course, aerial course, zipline course, instead of just a flat zipline, because we do have obstacles, we do have stairs to climb, bridges to cross, and so it's more than just ziplining, and it's actually kind of an adventure. So you have to earn those good views and fast lines.
And that leads us to the next portion of this that we don't often think about when we think of a zip line, and that's sustainability. Explain that aspect of this zip course.
So we are built on a state park. So in order to secure a contract, we had to agree to have everything removable. And so to do that, we have poured zero concrete. Everything's drilled into the ground or set into the ground. And if we ever did have to pull up roots, as you could say, all we have to do is undrill our guy lines, pull out our poles, and we could transport this whole course somewhere else. We didn't have to dig any roads in, put any roads in. We didn't have to dig any landscape up. Everything that we've traveled on has grown back since we've started, and will grow back after we stop driving on it, which is really cool. We wanted to keep the landscape as pristine and natural as possible. Instead of building big, I call them amusement park rides, we've kept with the natural wood aspect of it, try to keep in, with nature, make it rustic and cool to look at, and also removable. Hopefully we're good partners with the parks and they keep us here for many years, but we do have the option to pull up and move somewhere else.
John, how do we get in touch with you guys and make reservations?
Well, at ziplineutah.com, we've tried to make that really simple. You can go on there, pick your day and your time, your different course options, and just book it online. It's really simple. We do have the option to drive up as well, and just during those certain times of the day. You can also boat up off of the lake and get here as well. We hope to get a lot of boaters this summer to come try us out. But yeah, just ziplineutah.com.
Thank you so much, John. It's so much fun to have Zipline Utah here. What a cool aspect here. Part of the Heber Valley experience and Utah experience at that. The longest zipline over water in the world is what we've got here, you guys. So be sure to check it out. I'm here on the Mountain Weekend Show. Stay tuned for more. You're watching Park City Television.